up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you are new here. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be sharing with you how I do a super fresh summery glowy makeup look without using any foundation. That's right, no skin tints, no BB creams, no tinted moisturizers, just good old-fashioned glowy skin. So if that sounds good to you, then let's get into it. This lighting makes me look like I have the worst dark circles. I swear that's not actually how my face looks. Don't know what's going on. I need to really like amend the lighting in here because my mom has messaged me asking me if I'm like sick. Like, no, it's literally the lighting. So yeah, just ignore that. So I've got some really fun products in here to share with you today. Some of them you've seen before, some of them might be new. So the first thing that you really want to do is obviously you need to put an SPF on. Now, it doesn't have to be a glowy one. Maybe you use like a normal one in your morning routine. That's normally what I do, but I figured this would be a great opportunity to use my glow screen. This is from Supergoop. This is an SPF 30. Normally I like to wear an SPF 50, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this one. Alternately, if you don't want to use a glowy sunscreen and you have like your favorite SPF that you wear all the time, definitely recommend a dewy looking face primer. So this one is by Wet n Wild. This is their Dewy Lumino primer. You've probably seen me rave about this before. I really love this. This is an amazing primer. And then I also have this Skin Lights Face Glow Illuminator by Revlon. This is kind of like a dupe for that Charlotte Tilbury product. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll pop an image of it on the screen. This is like a drugstore dupe for that. So if you want to just like mix this in or put this all over your face, if you don't want to use a primer, you can use this instead, or you can use it with a primer. So you have a lot of options here. So like I said, I'm just going to use the sunscreen because why the heck not? And this looks like it's tinted. I promise you it's not. It just goes, it's just so that it doesn't leave like a white cast on your skin. That's why it has like a bit of color, but it does not blend out to be any sort of like coverage or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that all in absolutely everywhere. Make sure to get under the eyes. I noticed lately I've gotten like a little bit of a sunspot situation on this side that I do not like. And that's probably because I was forgetting to like blend my sunscreen all the way up to my eye. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Don't be like me. Okay, so you can see how nice and glowy that leaves our skin. The next thing I'm going to do is, because sometimes when you use like a super illuminating product, whether it's like a primer or a sunscreen, it can definitely show more of like your skin imperfections, whether that's like enlarged pores, anything like that. It definitely shows my pores more for me. So I'm going to actually go in with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This one's amazing. I love this stuff. A little goes a long way. And this is just going to really help kind of like even out my skin texture and just make it look more smooth and glass skin-like. I've just gone ahead and zoomed you in a bit. That way you can really kind of see all of the texture on my face. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this primer and just put that in all of the places where I feel like I have more enlarged pores. Pretty much just my T-zone, which is I feel like where most people experience enlarged pores. And I really just love this primer. It's super affordable, but it does the job. It really fills all the pores in without leaving any kind of like residue or like causing any creasing. You might have remembered seeing before I used to use the Tarte Timeless Pore Filling Primer, and that one honestly did not work well for me. It would get like into the creases, my makeup would bunch on it. It just was like a bad time, and that stuff is expensive, like 40 bucks. And this is like 10, so yeah. Okay, so already, I don't know if you can tell, but my skin looks a lot smoother. That's really just helped kind of like even out my skin texture. So love this stuff. Can't go wrong. Next, you're going to want to add some concealer, or if you just don't feel like using concealer, you can skip this step. I'm gonna go on with my NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This is in the shade Vanilla, so we're gonna just go ahead and do one pump of that on my finger, and you can like add this anywhere where you feel like you need a little bit of extra coverage. And then just take your beauty sponge and blend that out. And then I have some like breakouts over here in my jaw. I don't know if it's like hormonal or what. It probably is. Actually, I lied. The sunspot's on this side, so love that for me. So that's all you're gonna do for concealer, and you can set it if you want. I'm actually not gonna set it because I just can't really be bothered, if I'm completely honest. But next we're gonna move into like contour and bronzer. So the one I've really been loving is the Sculpting Touch Creamy Contour Stick. This is by the brand Kiko Milano, and this is in the shade 200. I don't think there's that many options, but it's just like a kind of like in between cool and warm shade, but it's really good for when my skin is fair like this. And I don't actually like to just like apply it on my face. It's way better, you have way more control if you take a brush and you just go like this and then you apply it to your skin. Honestly, trust me on this, like it's just way better. And this is really going to just warm up the face. Obviously, I'm very pale right now. I've taken kind of like a little hiatus break, if you will, from self-tanning because I just got really lazy. I'm like, why? I'm like making my bed sheets, you know, turn brown. It's just like, it's too much. I'm tired of it. So I haven't been doing that for a couple months now. And honestly, I don't really mind my pale skin. Like, I do notice more of like the sun damage, I will say, when I'm pale, but it's just making me actually pay closer attention to really applying my sunscreen and being diligent with like my skincare routine and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I'm paying closer attention to it while being pale. But I know a lot of people don't like to be pale, especially around the summertime. And so probably when summer is actually like in full swing, I might jump back onto the self-tanning train because I don't want to be the only pale person in Ireland. Everyone else will for sure be self-tanning. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just go down the jaw area. And I'm going to take some on a smaller brush and I'm just going to contour out my nose. This is obviously not a necessary step, but I like to do it. And this is such a forgiving contour. That's why I really love it. And it does the job of looking like you've kind of combined a contour and a bronzer all in one, at least for my skin, so I really love that. So you can see already how kind of glowy and nice the base is looking. If you want to add like a little extra like vavoom, like zhuzh up the bronzer, you can use this Drunken Elephant Debronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops, like just like ever so tiniest bit of this. I don't think I'm going to do that because I feel like this is better if you have already a little bit of a tan. If you are not like albino like I am, this might be great for you. Next, we're going to be doing highlight. Now, normally I like to do blush first, but I do find that if I use one of these stick highlights, it can kind of like pull up the blush and stuff like that, so we don't want that. But I love this. This is the Ciate Dewy stick. You guys know I've been using this forever. And it basically just adds this like really pretty natural glow without any, there's no like sparkle or anything like that in it. So I just love this. All these little hairs that just won't get out of my way. This is just so pretty. So you can see it just adds like a bit of radiance to the skin, but it's very natural looking. And because we've used a very glowy base, I don't like to use a lot of sparkly highlighter because I feel like that can just be really overkill. You don't want to start looking like a disco ball. So I feel like that's better. I'm saying that as I'm literally about to pull out like kind of a sparkly blush. This is the Revolution Bright Light Highlighter with Quartz, and this is in Divine Dark Pink. Now this is a great dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. It is just way harder to open, like, but so it has the same spongy kind of applicator to it. It takes a minute to get the product out. And I like to just really like tap and then sort of slowly blend it into the skin. I don't want to rub too much because I feel like sometimes with these cream blushes they can move product that is below them, and I don't want any patchiness, even though I don't have any foundation on today, so I guess that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, if you've used cream products before, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. However, we also didn't set the under eye, so there's not really like a lot of things that can be pulled. Now this might look like a lot, but blush does tend to kind of fade a bit throughout the day, and I'm really on the blush train right now where you almost look like borderline sunburned, and I really like to bring it all the way up to underneath my eye area. I actually feel like that makes it look much more natural, like you don't have this big sort of like white under your eye, because it's not normal, like you wouldn't normally have that. A little on the nose. Basically anywhere that you're gonna get sun is a good place to put this. So like I mentioned before, cream blush can be, in my opinion, hard to blend, especially when they're the stick ones. I find that when I use like one like this, where I can just really like take a brush and apply, I feel like that actually blends better. So I'm just gonna touch up anywhere that I feel like we had some issues with the blending. So now we have our base done and we can move on into eyebrows, and I really still love the super fluffy kind of laminated looking brows. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I feel like it just flatters my face more. And I really have been loving, and pretty much everyone else who's tried this loves it too, the NYX Thick It, Stick It Brow Mascara. Well, thickening brow mascara. And this comes in a bunch of shades. I have the shade Espresso, which is like the second to darkest shade. It's like a real dark, kind of like medium brown. It's not a warm, but it's not super cool. And I go forward first like this to coat the brow hairs from the back, and then I just brush them up. And this holds them in place all day. Like, to me, this feels like a high-end product. It really thickens, it's easy to work with, and my brows do stay standing up, which I like. But yeah, if you're looking for like a brow gel, a tinted brow gel, or a brow mascara, you guys know I used to use the Maybelline Fiber Brow Volumizer for years, and that one still is really good, but I feel like this one is just superior because I think that the little spoolie is just better. So yeah. Now I like to let that set before I go in and finish off my brows. I find that it's just easier to use the next brow product when the brow gel has kind of set down. So we're gonna move on into eyes, and I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna use the same palette you guys see me use this all the time, my Tartelette in Bloom palette. I just feel like this has the most flattering shades for my skin tone personally. So, and I know we didn't set down the face at all, but I'm just going to take this really light shade here. This is pretty much what I always use to set my concealer on my eyes, if I'm honest. Well, on the top anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and obviously if you have like a translucent powder that you really like, that you want to set, you can definitely do that. I don't really set my makeup very often unless I'm going like on a night out, but I'm actually out of my setting spray, so we're just gonna be YOLOing it, you feel me? And I've been really loving like a pinky look lately, so I'm gonna just go in with this pink shade here. It's like a mix of like a nude pink color. I just really like it a lot, and I just feel like it looks really good with all of the blushes I use. My normal like attractive pretty silver mirror broke. Well, it didn't break, I just need to glue it back together, so that's why I'm using this like beastly mirror that's not really meant for filming videos, but it's all I have right now, unfortunately. I really just need to not be lazy and fix the other one. This color is so pretty. I feel like it just perfectly carves out my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with a brush like this and just do the lower lash line. I know a lot of people don't really like to put shadow on their lower lash line. I don't understand why. I feel like it really just makes your eyes pop. So that's it. Pretty simple as far as the eyes go. I mean, this is like a daytime look, so if you want to do this for night, you can obviously, instead of using the sunscreen, use the Dewy primer. Like, you can switch the products up, do a more like intense eye look, but I'm just doing a daytime look. And then I'm just going to take a highlighter to highlight the inner corners, and just like on a little brush like this. I feel like this just really like opens up my eyes and makes me look more awake. So now that the brows have set, I'm going to go in with my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. This has a nice felt tip, which makes it really easy to do those really precise brow flicks. Also in the shade Espresso. Espresso. I say Espresso. I know I'm wrong. And then I just tinted my brows, so I don't really need a lot of this. But just to fill in any of those sparse areas, particularly towards the end of my brow. And this brow pen is so good. I've had this for a while now and it has not dried up. It hasn't run out. And it's very pigmented. It is much better than any of the high-end ones that I have tried. Much better than the MAC one that was very similar to this. Next, I'm just going to be going in with my Maybelline Sky High Mascara. And I'm going to do this off camera just because it takes me forever to get my mascara right, and then I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I just did my mascara and I did my lips off camera just because you've seen me do it a million times. I'll leave the video link down below for exactly how I do my lips like this. It's a pretty recent video, so you may have already seen it. That is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this glowy, no foundation, daytime look video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on your way out. It really helps me with the algorithm, and thank you guys so much for watching.